Okay. And so I have multiple cameras right here. Let me see if I can just possibly put this right here. Okay, I'm ready to go. I'm trying to find the best spot for this. Okay, perfect. We are all set up. We're all set up. We're ready to go. I'm going to be able to see your Vinay. Hi, Vinay. I'm seeing you on my phone. I don't see you right here in this chat, but here we go. I'm so excited to have you on this live today. I go live every Monday at noon Eastern time. So come on in and join me, ask questions, engage. Today I'm talking about a very important topic: how to stop overthinking in relationships and feel secure. Overthinking will have you make up entire breakup scenarios in your head before anything ever happens. You know what I mean, right? You replay that one conversation 10 times in your head. You're analyzing every single word. You're talking to your girlfriends about it. It's just like being stuck in that spiral, like rumination, analyzing a one-word text like it's a code you're trying to crack. And suddenly, before you know it, you're just spiraling, wondering if you've messed everything up. So overthinking it can be a rabbit hole. It can be like a cycle that you can enter, like some type of a Twilight Zone thing. So you want to watch out for overthinking. Overthinking also hides in this intellectualization, and it makes things feel safe. But really, when you are overthinking, I just want you to remember that it is an expression of your anxiety, that you're feeling anxious, and that means you have to address the anxiety, not just keep overthinking. If I overthink enough, maybe I'll get it. No, it's already going to an extreme. It is a reaction. It is a symptom. Overthinking is a symptom that you need to pause. Like what you're doing right now, it's not working. So if all of that sounds familiar to you, this live right here is for you. Today, I'm going to show you how to stop overthinking in relationships and start feeling secure. Not just when everything's perfect, because everybody can do that. That's not what we're going for. We're not going for conditional security. We are going for unconditional security. So we are going to talk about feeling secure, feeling safe, which is so important, which is pivotal for any relationship to flourish. How are you going to go to higher order thinking, poetry, and this and that when you don't even feel secure? So security is really important. We want to watch out how we create security. We want to be very immaculate in creating security for yourself. Otherwise, if we don't create security within ourselves, we go start looking at elsewhere. And anywhere that you look for security that is not you is a conditional security. It'll depend on conditions. And it'll take you for a ride. It'll be like a carrot at the end of the stick. You'll have to earn it. You'll think you're getting close, but every time you get close, it just moves a little bit. So this is what I have for you. And we're not looking to just feel secure when we're feeling perfect, but when things are messy, they're uncertain and unclear. I have 3 points that I'm going to make with you today in this live. The first of my 3 points is why overthinking isn't about the other person, because we think that it is. It is about your nervous system and what you're used to and your pattern that you're in right now. So overthinking is not just a thinking problem. It's a nervous system response. When you're triggered, maybe by silence, maybe by a vague message from someone, or a sudden change, maybe somebody started yelling at you or something else happened, your body goes into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And then your brain rushes in Just try to make sense of all of that discomfort. The problem is that the stories your brain writes in that state, they are not accurate. Please remember that. When you start to ruminate, you got to be like, okay, wait. I can't trust what's coming through me right now. I have to pause. Something's not right. So the problem is that the stories that your brain writes in the state of overthinking, they're rarely rooted in reality. They are rooted in fear. So fear only always has half a reality. If you look at the letters in fear, F-E-A-R, a great way to remember the essence of fear is to put something next to each one of those letters. It's like false evidence appearing real. F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. And that's what it is. It's half the truth. And it's the type of truth that is just going to derail you from other truths. So you want to watch out for that. Just whenever you start overthinking, you know, when you start to reel, you know that that's a time you can't trust that. That's the time where you need help, not that you are supposed to be letting that part guide you. So my guidance to you in the first point is to stop overthinking by calming your body down, not just your thoughts. Calm your nervous system down, because your body is just used to that. It's used to going to that place. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to create new defaults. You're trying to create new ways of being. So now, number 2, the second point I'm making with you is how to train your brain to stop catastrophizing and start trusting. Catastrophizing is when your brain fills in the blanks with the worst case scenario. They didn't reply, they must be mad. They have been so quiet, maybe they're losing interest. You said something vulnerable, you probably overshared. Right away, it's gonna come like that. Does any of that sound familiar to you guys? Drop in a note right here if it does. That's right. Okay, so this happens when your brain doesn't have a reference point for safety. The way out is forcing yourself to think positively. Otherwise, it's going to keep on taking over. So when you find yourself ruminating, having the repeated thoughts going into those rabbit holes, force yourself to think positively. A really great way to do that is to start to go into gratitude. Hi, Adnan. Nice to see you here. And going into gratitude really gets you out of that funk of overthinking everything. And before you start thinking, your overthinking is factual. You want to just notice that you're overthinking, bring your body to calm because it's a nervous system problem. And then you want to force yourself to think positively. Just start the beginning of it. This is about finding yourself in a state of overthinking and training your brain to recognize when to launch into safety and build trust. Every time you're going to go into overthinking and you're going to be able to bring yourself from that state of anxiety to safety, this travel from anxiety to safety, this travel from point A to point B that Joseph Campbell also calls hero's journey, allows you to build trust in yourself. Yes, Adnan. If you have an attitude of gratitude, it will always elevate your latitude. Absolutely. Gratitude it has a direct connection with joy, and you want to bring in gratitude. Just change your mindset. If you're having like bad days in a row, bad luck in a row, and you're like, oh my God, what's happening? You want to just go into an endless row of like gratitude. Just don't even think about it. Everything that you do, that's how you change the trajectory of what's happening in your life. So when you start keeping your own word with yourself, showing up for yourself and making choices that align with your values, what you want to create, experience, be, and do in the world, you notice that your brain starts to trust you because you are able to be a leader in the world of your nervous system, in the world of your thoughts. You're able to lead your thoughts rather than your thoughts leading you. You're able to then lead your emotions instead of your emotions leading you, because thoughts are connected to emotions, and then the emotions are connected to behavior. They have a trio link. That's when the need to control or preempt rejection starts to ease up. And the third point that I have for you today is that the real reason you second guess yourself is that, and how do you change that? How do you change that thing about guessing yourself? If you are constantly noticing that I'm second guessing myself, or I'm asking other people's opinions instead of really looking at mine, even if you ask other people's opinion that you're feeling unsure in yourself, in your relationship, I want you to pause and instead of going into ruminations like, should I have said that? Was I too much? Did I read that wrong? You're probably not, understand, you're not being logical at that time. You are at that moment lacking emotional permission. You haven't given yourself the permission to be fully seen by yourself without being too much, too needy, not enough. The root of self-doubt is often unhealed shame. Times you were told or shown that your feelings were wrong or inconvenient or dramatic. This shift happens. The shift from becoming confident in supporting yourself, in being able to trust yourself. This shift happens when you start validating your own emotions first, before you seek reassurance from others. Because when you seek reassurance from others, you don't know what they're going to do. So when it's almost like when you are not fully aware about who you are, people will always come in your life and they'll tell you who you are. And if you are not grounded in the reality of who you are, you're always going to believe them. And if you are not becoming conscious of these subconscious processes, of this overthinking, and if you're not getting a handle on it, like Carl Jung says, if you don't make the unconscious conscious, it's going to run your life and you're going to call it fate. You're going to be like, oh, these things are happening. And you have receipts. You have evidence that I'm not making this up. These things are happening. Yes, they are happening because they are being brought into your life because of the way you're showing up or not showing up for yourself. The idea here is to treat yourself the way you want others to treat you, and be in your life the way you would like your life to be in your life, in the sense that if you want to provide, if you want to have a life of abundance, be abundant in the way you treat yourself. If you want ease, be easy with yourself. If you want loving, if you want benefit of the doubt, give yourself benefit of the doubt. The root of self-doubt is that shame, so you want to heal that shame, because that shame is going to hold you into place and it's going to keep finding evidence for more shame. When you can say to yourself, it's okay that I felt hurt by that, or it's valid that I'm feeling anxious right now, you give yourself the solid ground your nervous system is craving, what it needs. It just needs to be heard and seen by you. So I'm going to share with you a simple trick, a 3-step trick, which is pause, check, and choose. And if you practice to interrupt the overthinking before you get into the spiral that reels you in, you're going to be able to get a handle on this. So your in the moment tool to break out of that spiral is called pause, check, and choose. And it is a part of the love clarity method. So let's say that you're spiraling after a text. Before you go into full detective mode to do this, that you first pause, you take a breath, you interrupt the urgency to do something. Interrupt the urgency to text, to over-explain, to obsess, to argue. And instead of doing that, you check in with yourself and you ask yourself, hey, what story am I telling myself right now? Is it that they're pulling away? That I said the wrong thing? Get honest with yourself and ask yourself, which of the 4 love lies might be active here right now? Is it that I'm acting from guilt? Am I taking over responsibility? Am I stuck in playing a role that I imagined, which is not even real, and I'm dehumanizing myself with that role, and I can't even see myself apart from the role that I think I need to squeeze myself into? Am I doing a transaction where I'm doing something for someone, hoping that they would do something for me either, or do something with themselves? Did I love somebody in any of these 4 love lies way? And when you check in with yourself and you notice any of those, coming into compassion and right away choosing love, pivoting to love, love within yourself, and all love that you give other people must be grounded and tethered in that love for yourself. So choosing from that wise, loving, calm place within you, and figuring out what do you want to do from that love that you feel inside you. That might mean choosing to wait before responding, choosing to soothe yourself instead of seeking validation, or simply choosing not to assume the worst of people. This is our situation. This is how we build security. One tiny moment of upset at a time. One tiny moment of overthinking and rumination at a time. You bring yourself from that upset or pain and you bring yourself to calm. You need to show yourself evidence. Trust has to be earned. Even with us, with yourself, trust has to be earned. You don't build security by controlling others, but from creating internal clarity and creating internal trust. If you want to manage something, manage inside you. So if you're struggling with overthinking, drop in an emoji in the comments so I know that we're not alone in this, that we have a lot of partnership in this matter. It's something so many of us go through, and it doesn't mean that you're broken. It just means that your nervous system is trying to protect you. And the only way it knows how to protect you is that at the moment, unless you start to teach it another way to respond. And if you're ready for deeper support and shifting into true security in loving, not the kind that depends on what someone else says or does, but the kind that you can build within yourself, the unconditional security that needs no conditions except for the fact that you are there, then DM me the word secure and I'd love to help. So much love to all of you. Thank you for being here. Take care and goodbye.